All right, you guys let me know when can I begin.
Yeah, so still people are joining. I think now we can start. Great, namaskar everybody. Today we're going to have a course with Dada, Rainjitananda, and Ash. We're going to start with asana with Ash.
Beautiful. Good morning. Namaskar, everyone. So, simple practice today. We have 45 minutes for this, right? 9:03 a.m. as per my tiny cell phone next to me here. So, asana practice is obviously of utmost importance for many reasons. It helps us, keep our mental, emotional, physical state, right? In good place, right? In good condition. And also for the purposes of meditation, sure, we need to condition our bodies to be flowing, to be open, right? To be working properly as intended. So during asana practice, we are practicing simultaneously breath, conscious breath. Of course, we also, as in the Ananda Marga practices, we take ideation. Simple ideation can be Bhavanam Kevalam, right? I always translate it to love in all things, or love is all there is, because I want to have a north. I want to have a focus that I can anchor myself on while I am consciously breathing into every part of my body. And as I am feeling what is happening inside and outside of this unit that I am, while I'm moving from pose to pose at whatever pace with whatever kind of dynamic I select to practice. If I can tell you something really quick about myself, I've been, enjoying the connection with the Ananda Marga family since probably 2003. And throughout all of these years, of course, I've been teaching yoga practice in Puerto Rico, here in New York City, in the corporate field, etc. Right? So it's been some years of practice and some years of experience. I just had a little bit of water. Hydration is important. Let's keep that in mind, just in case. It's 9 a.m. in New York City, wherever you're at. Okay. Translate the dynamics we will be practicing to the time of the day where you're at. Anything else that I can share with you? I'm going to try to keep my speech right at this pace, because I know there's translators here with us today. If there's anything that you guys need to bring to my attention, Dada, you can text me, and I can, of course, when the phone is quicker, I can pay attention to and correspond, right, accordingly. So let's make sure. I'm going to step out of my own camera here, so away from my camera, so that you can see my space. I have open space. There's a travertine table here, but definitely there's a space in between my yoga mat and the table. The wall is a little bit closed, but I want to make sure that as I move, I have enough space around me so that, for the sake of safety, okay? I don't hit myself with anything. So let's begin our asana practice with something very simple, and it's the breathing process. I would like us to connect to our breaths, even close your eyes, right? I'm seated on my yoga blocks right here, but if you're seated on your yoga mat, make sure, actually, let me just depict this easily. Let's say that you are on your yoga mat. I have this little towel here, which I'm going to evenly fold, right? So that it supports my base. And I feel that my sitting bones are leveled as they connect to the ground, right? I have a half lotus pose here. So I'm going to mirror you on the following, because of course the devices flip the directional awareness. So in this case, my left foot touching the right inner thigh, my right leg folded in front of the left one. I spread the base somewhat, and I make sure that when I'm seated, my sitting bones are well connected to the ground. My pelvis is somewhat projected forward, enough so that I don't feel stiff on my back and all, arched and super lifted, but happy medium of length throughout the spine. Then My hands can be facing down or facing up on my knees. I close my eyes. At this precise moment, what I want to bring to us is the awareness of the breath. This is a fairly simple practice today, okay? We may have people here that are beginners in the aspect of the asana practice, the yoga poses, yoga postures, and people that probably have been practicing already for some time. It's an all-inclusive practice. It is so simple, so accessible. We begin with the breath. We close our eyes, and the awareness of the breath is wherever you're at the moment. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling agitated? Your heartbeats and your breath will tell you about both, you know, or any state where you find yourself at right now. So I would like you to connect to your breath, and as you inhale and exhale through your nostrils, you will connect to the quality of your breath. Is it slow? Is it shallow? Is it a little bit, you know, fast? So what I'd like you to do is breathe deeply, counting up to maybe 5. Slow inhale, holding the breath at the end of your inhale. And as you exhale, count to 5 also. And at the end of your exhale, you can hold the breath 2, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. If your body allows you to hold the breath for 8 seconds, beautiful, you may, right? I'd like us to remain for the next minute with our eyes closed, tracing our breath throughout our bodies, okay? Mechanically speaking, we are, of course, taking inhales that will allow our lungs to expand, therefore pushing downwardly the diaphragm. And on the external aspect, right, we are seeing that there is a rise on the inhale of the pelvic abdominal area, the chest. And when we exhale, we are seeing also the fall of the chest, the abdomen, and the pelvic area as well. It's just the inner dance of our body, bones, muscles, connective tissues, internal organs. And while you are on this quick and very simple exploration of how your breath is working throughout your body, I want you to connect to what is the ongoing change or benefit that is happening right now. And we're going to do this for every single asana that we will practice from this point on.
Hey, quickly, can you slow the speech down just a bit?
Okay, beautiful. Okay, now I got full screen. Awesome. So, let's begin with our hands on our knees and circular motion. I am intending my best to move from this hinging point of my hip creases. This is a warm-up for my pelvic hub and, of course, my spine. Simple circular motion. Why? Because I want to create some gentle warm-up on my spine from the lower levels and up. Opposite direction, same circular motion. Remember, constantly connected to your breath. Easily swaying from side to side. In Thai massage, usually we call this bamboo rock, right? And then add a little bit of that kelp seaweed kind of motion to the spine, right? It's early times in the morning, at least here in New York, it's early enough, right? So my body still feels a little bit stiff. So this is a simple motion that I can create to hear how my spine is resetting itself. Now gently slow down, and with the tip of the nose, we create a gentle circular motion. And then we create that circular motion with the chin to the shoulder, to the chest, opposite shoulder, like you're looking to the side, and then tilt your head slightly back and looking up and continue. You can do an amount of repetitions of this circular motion. It doesn't matter, your body is wise enough to tell you how much is best. Opposite direction. Good, and we will lengthen the head with the spine. There's a simple yoga asana, right, that we call extended yoga mudra. We're going to do this extended yoga mudra just for a few breaths, just for the sake of opening lower body, hips, tailbone, lower back. As you see me seated here on this half lotus pose, extended yoga mudra can be easily applied by connecting fingertips to the ground and easily walking your hands forward. Some of us may need to relax the shoulders and ground the hands and stop here. Some of us may be able to ground the forearms, the elbows. Some of us may be able to simply walk the hands forward and even relax the forehead on the mat. I forgot to mention at the beginning, of course, in the nowadays on the yoga practices, there's such things like yoga blocks. If you have yoga blocks close to you or any pillows that you can, pile up and maybe use in the following fashion to support maybe your forehead and your head and your neck in this fashion I am showing here, you can actually apply. It's really nice and simple, but it offers the support that your neck, base of the skull, shoulders, trapezius, the whole spine may require. And then, of course, we're looking forward. We gently walk our hands back, we are lengthening head and spine, and lengthy spine comes up. Our bodies, right, need the following motions: forward folds, back bends, side bends, and then twisting, all right? So let's practice a simple sequence that we call the circle of love. So I'm going to actually give you the side view of this circle of love, so that, of course, you can get as much information from my body as I enact this as possible. Palms together as in prayer pose. This is an inhale. I interlace my fingers, projecting the palms of the hands forward as I exhale. Some of us may even be able to hunch up the spine a little bit, right? The upper spine, for extra stretch on the upper spine, upper back. And then we can inhale and reach up with both arms. We can exhale, open our arms to the sides and interlace the fingers behind our tailbones. You see, I'm a skinny, long Puerto Rican guy right here. So my arms are really long. So I have to extend my arms to an extent where, of course, it feels comfortable enough for my body here. According to the length of my arms, then I apply this posture. My thumbs are pressing on the ground for some of us because we may have certain issues on our bodies, right? Of muscular or structural sort. We might just need to press the fingertips on the mat. For some of us, just simply this, placing the hands on the ground. But if you can interlace fingers, press the thumbs on the ground, and then roll the shoulders back, and look how my body language will change now. Right? A little bit lengthier spine and head in terms of alignment, which is really important. We're going to now try our best to inhale and bring the thumbs off the ground during the inhale. So pecs, sternum bone, right? Rib cage, collarbones will get the benefit of this. Opening our arms to the sides and forward again. Palms together. Inhale again, prayer pose. Exhale, repeat with me. Interlace fingers, extend your arms forward. Reach up. Remember the purpose, follow along with my movement, the purpose of doing this yoga asanas, these movements, is to not only open our bodies in a physical level, right? Benefiting ourselves, I mean, in terms of internal organs.
Ash, can you speak a little bit slowly?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're also affecting, in a way, the subtle aspects of what we are, right? Take a deep, long breath. Open our arms, right? We open our arms to the sides and extend them forward, palms together. Take a deep, long inhale again, prayer pose. One more repetition. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open your arms to the sides. Interlace your fingers behind your tailbone. Press the palms of your hands together. You can remain on this stage of the pose. You can simply bring your arms slightly off the ground. And open your arms to the sides and again, forward. Inhale, prayer pose. We're going to do half of this repetition of the circle of love so that we can add a little bit of side bend and twisting. So, again, I offer you my front view. Follow along with me. Reach up with both arms. The heels of your hands are pressing up, right? The palms of your hands are pressing up. A little bit of side bend here could be practiced by releasing the interlacing of the fingers, connecting the left hand to the ground, then the forearm and elbow, reaching beyond the crown of the head with the right arm. And you see the beautiful alignment that I am creating along this right side of my body. Also, I'd like us to face the palm of the left hand down as if the pinky finger, it's projecting itself slightly down towards the head's direction and then beyond the head's direction. Now take a deep, long inhale. Interlace your fingers, press the palms of your hands up again to kind of reset evenness on the stretch of the upper body. And the right hand touches the ground. Then the elbow, my left arm reaches beyond the crown of the head. Something to keep in mind in a yoga asana like this is that I don't sink into my chest and neither glue my chin to the chest. I want to create length on the spine by opening, by generating openness, and observe this on my chest. Sometimes I can do this gesture. I can touch my sternum and then throughout my pec, follow through my shoulder and reach up with my left arm. Again, facing the left hand towards my head or towards my ear and then reaching beyond the crown of my head. I'm going to hold this pose for another 2 more breaths. Always keep in mind that you can hold your yoga asana from 5 to 8 breaths, okay? Now, because we have a little bit of course, time constraints, I'm trying to at least be more in demonstration of this, right? So take a deep, long inhale. Reach up, both arms. Interlace your fingers. We can also practice this side bends with the following dynamic. We exhale, we can count to 5, maybe to 8 as we enter the pose. We can hold the pose, maybe holding the breath at the end of the exhale. Inhale, and again, we can count up to 5, up to 8. Slowly entering the yoga asana. And at the end of the exhale, we may hold the pose, holding also the breath. One more time. Holding the breath is a moment that also generates a level of mental stillness. Therefore, helping us with full fidelity record the information that we are right now giving our bodies. Now, interlace your fingers, press the palms up, and like to finish the circle of love, let's say. We open the arms to the sides, interlace the fingers behind the tailbone, roll the shoulders back. Try to keep your spine and head lengthy, right? Alignment is very important. And let your hands move above the ground as you inhale. Let your arms rise a little bit behind you. Open your arms to the sides, extend them forward, and inhale again, the prayer pose. I will again use half of the circle of love of repetition. So that we can enter twists for the spine now, right? So I'm going to bring my left hand onto my right knee and my right hand behind my tailbone. So this is the front view of the pose that you are seeing now. I'm going to switch it up a little bit for you so that you can appreciate also the side view of this pose, which is very important. So once I happen to be here and I entered my twist, these are just gestures that I just do. I romanticize the practice a little bit sometimes, right? So my movements do carry a narrative, right, of where I am at with myself, my level of strength, my level of maybe weakness, right? And of course, for where I am at, I accept myself at the moment, period. It's not nice to be living in any kind of denial, right, or rejection of where we're at. So the spine lengthy within that upward spiral dynamic. This is what we're creating throughout the spine. We're going to hold this pose for another 2 more breaths. Mindful of the leveling of your shoulders. I mentioned I have very long arms. This is why I place my hand back here, but always in line with the sacral bone line. See? I can press my fingertips. I can press the palm of my hand. And again, I easily release my twist. Again. And the right hand touching the left knee, the left hand touching the ground behind me. Here, I select the distance between my back hand and my tailbone, and look what happens to my shoulder. You see the shoulder line? You see the gentle upward redirection of my sternum bone, let's say. Chin slightly to the chest. You may look towards the side. You may also look towards the wall behind you. So what we're doing is simply preparing our physical aspect, right? Our physical body to be in a beautiful, healthy, functioning state, so that when we enter meditation right after, we can feel that our bodies are actually in tune with our inner longing, inner desire, right? To go deeper within this that we call our lives, right? Through the medium of meditation. Take a deep, long breath, release. We're going to do it twice more, of course. We're not going to stay in the yoga pose for too long, but at least just to accomplish those 3 repetitions that we've been doing for each pose. Of course, there is a level of beauty that we are intending to embody as well when we practice. But again, not to be vain about it, that's not the ultimate goal. But the aspect of beauty is also very important because it speaks about how we are actually finding that aspect of beauty within our lives, within ourselves, and we are creating the embodiment, right? As we say, you know, Ananda Murti, the embodiment of bliss. Well, in this case, we want to also be the embodiment of beauty within ourselves. And I feel it is really important. We own up to the beauty, the inherent beauty that we have and that we are. And what better moment than doing this through asana practice? Not everybody loves themselves or their bodies. So, you know, it's just a kind of perspective that I share with you. Take a deep, long breath. Good. A little bit of forward fold and back bend. So, two simple poses. Good. I am really tight. I'm in New York City. Lately, of course, like a lot of us, we've been indoors most of the time. But usually I am on a bicycle or walking around the city, teaching my corporate yoga classes and meditation classes, like everywhere around the city. So I'm always really tight. I'm walking around so much, I'm riding the bicycle so much that my lower back, my legs, especially in these early times in the morning, they're always really tight. So you can see how here, while practicing the seated staff pose, this Dandasana, you know, not that I'm really struggling that much, but you can see my lower back, it's slightly slouched. So I'm not gonna fight against my body to go into a seated forward fold. Still, I keep in mind the following and engage supportively. My toes pointing up, my inner ankles inwardly projecting, and the outer edges of the feet outwardly projecting. I think we call this eversion, if I am not wrong, right? So we're basically, and look at the gesture of my hands, we're basically opening the outer edges of the feet, outwardly projecting the soles of the feet, the plantar aspect, forward. When I do that, just creating that mechanic on my feet already engages my shins, my quads, hip flexor area. So I already have the support self-sufficiently on my lower body to remain in this beautiful seated staff pose. I could also do this, I could do this, right? But for a seated forward fold, I reach forward, I intend to hinge at the level of the hip crease, hip flexors, and until I can rest my fingertips on the ground, my hands, and again, I'm not pressing my chest against my legs, not at all. I'm super tight this morning, and I honor myself where I am at. Here, relax my shoulders, my head. One of the purposes of this practice, right, at least as I guide it to my lovely, beautiful people, is that we can feel what we're doing, that we can feel what we are doing. And as we feel what we're doing and we are breathing through it and we remain consciously aware of what's happening in the right here, right now, we can manage to assimilate the ongoing changes and benefits in the moment of this conscious action, right? Because it just becomes mechanical stuff. If I am not present in the moment, noticing what's really happening, how my body is on the spot, changing and generating benefits, right? Now take a deep, long breath. Release this seated forward fold, this Paschimottanasana. Always check in with yourself. See how your body feels. You don't want to feel under pressure when you are actually applying yoga asana. Are there challenges inherent to where your body's at and what you want to achieve? Yes, be with them, all right? Gradually apply, accordingly apply. That is a kind advice, and I always say in the corporate field here in New York is my kind disclaimer also, right, for some of my people. Now, back bend. So we can, you see, press the feet on the ground, legs hip width apart, and slowly to strengthen our core, right? Our base, our pelvic and abdominal area. We can slowly uncurl the spine as we lie on our backs and we ground the feet. So I had to tie up my hair today because it's a total mess, right? So I have a bun right here. I will show you fish pose, still with my bun right there on the middle. But remember, when you are doing yoga asana, try to be as comfortable within your head and your body as possible, all right? So, talking about comfort, right? Let me just move objects away. And fish pose, we can apply it in so many different ways. I'm gonna show off for a quick second and show you something really quick right here. Usually fish pose, right? We would apply in the following way, Matsyasana, right? And we would cross our legs in this like lotus pose that you see here. And then we would grasp onto the big toes and press your elbows. And as your knees descend, you can arch your spine and ground the crown of the head on the mat. The drishti or the gazing point could be on the tip of the nose or in between your eyebrows. Now, a simpler version of this Matsyasana, right? This fish pose could be the following. Legs extend down. The palms of the hands touch the sides of your legs or your hips. Why? Because this inwardly rotates my humeral bone. This outwardly rotates my humeral bone and allows my shoulder to be a little bit more backwardly rolled, which facilitates my fish pose in a way that I can feel open on the heart chakra, right? Anahata. So I just want to feel like I press on my elbows, and then what happens here? Slow motion. You see what I'm mechanically doing here? And this could be a fish pose. So you are anchoring yourself on the glutes and tailbone, on your elbows, which are going to help you press down so that you can bring the sternum bone a little bit higher, arching the spine a little pinch deeper, and of course, the anchoring point of the crown of the head on the mat. Breathe deeply so that you can feel that your lungs are expanding and deflating with freedom and might. Let's take another 2 more breaths. We can now press the elbows, gently engage core, uplift the sternum, bring the chin towards the chest, and look at this real lengthening of the spine. For some of us that feel like, well, fish pose is too challenging for me, a bridge pose does the job. Feet hip width apart and parallel to each other. Knees hip width apart, knees on top of your ankles. Then next comes the following steps. They're so simple. I spread my toes, I root my feet, pubic bone rises, tailbone tucks under, because that tucking under of the tailbone and pubic bone rising, it's how we manage, right, to redirect the pelvis, in which I will feel hip flexors and quads stretching, right? This is very important that these muscles are also open and stretched because it liberates the pelvic and lower spinal aspects of our bodies, right? Anterior and posterior aspects of them. So we bring the pelvis up, we interlace the fingers underneath the tailbone, we roll the shoulder blades in, and we let the pelvis rise. Firmly press the feet on the ground, engage your core. When we say engage the core, in the Sanskrit, we usually use the term bandhas, right? Places of support or engagement or locks, which would be the base, pelvic, and abdominal area, I would say, generally speaking. And of course, you can hold this bridge pose for 5-8 breaths. We're going to release now. Relax the shoulders. And Vastrikasana, right? Bellows pose. We hug the knees to the chest, forehead to your knees. You can just hold the breath at the end of your exhale, or you can just be here and anything related to, of course, the benefit of your nervous system, digestive system, internal organs overall. I mean, every yoga asana is giving us a plethora of benefits that are beyond our understanding, right? Now, beautiful. You can relax your feet on the mat, take a few breaths. And of course, we can roll onto the right side. We can come to a comfortable seated position. And I'm going to use the next minutes for a quick self-massage, all right? Next week, we're going to do a little bit of a longer self-massage relaxation session. But to begin with, on a nutshell, fingertips, tapping on the head, on the scalp area. We want to wake up our nervous system everywhere, wherever it's at, right? And it's everywhere. So why not? We're also, and we do this with our hands, forehead, eyes. I always go from the center and outwardly, right? Like a lymphatic drainage. Let's put it this way. We've been producing plenty of lymph, right? Hormonal chemistry in our bodies, and what we want to do is actually kind of drain that as well, because there's regards to energy production, there's residue, or yeah, let me just call it residue, and sometimes debris that we have flowing through our bodies, toxicity that has not been actually cleansed, and this is a good way to actually do that. So you see the movements that I am creating, right? With my hands on my neck, on my throat area, on the base of the skull, the shoulder trapezius area, right? I can do the following on the shoulder, on the arm, right? Circular motions. The wrist, my hand, my pecs, right? I would always do this on the pecs towards my heart. And on the other side, self-massage is very important, right? Because it allows our bodies to cleanse. It allows our bodies to feel prepared for relaxation. What we've been doing right now comes along with a process of assimilation on the go as we go from pose to pose, breath to breath. The abdominal area, right? So from your right side, transverse, and down to the left side. That's the directional peristalsis of your intestines, right? So we're going to create that. Look at your own body. I'm not mirroring you on this right now. So it'll be from your right to your left side, right? So, and I was saying, I lost the thread right there. I'll connect with it. Anyway, so self-massage. Indeed, you definitely want to generate this so that your body creates proper cleansing. Let's go now to the thighs. Actually, before we go on to the thighs, I shall not forget, kidney area. You can place your fists like this and create circular motion on the kidney area. Mid-spine, lower back, maybe glutes, a little bit of tapping, right? Okay, I got it. I was talking about the integration. So we are going to the inner thighs and the thighs. So when we are on the go, breath to breath, pose to pose, we are integrating the benefit and the changes, knees, that are happening as we apply every asana. We do self-massage. This is also part of that assimilation, right? Assimilation process on the feet. When we do relaxation, that's a total different level of integration of everything that we have been giving ourselves in terms of asana practice. The soles of the feet, you can close your fists with your knuckles, massage. And plows, right? Now, let's do the opposite leg. Plenty of lymph nodes, like on the groin area, inner thigh. You can squeeze them if you wish to, right? You can do this with your hands. And just kind of rub on the sides of your thighs, top and hamstrings. Also the knees, circular motion, so the top and the back of the knees. Now, what happens here? And now, relaxation. My beautiful people controlling this lovely call. How many more minutes can I take? Please, advice. It's 9:45 right now.
So we're gonna have a 5 minutes break after asana and almost a 30-minute kirtan and meditation and 1 hour lecture. So I think we have 5 to 7 minutes left.
I'm going to take 5 minutes for relaxation. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So everyone watching right now, what I would like us to do is literally lie on your back. Corpse pose. Once you lie on your back, I will ask you to allow yourself to enter a beautiful, willing state of sweet surrender. Close your eyes. Practice a little bit of releasing and letting go. Breathe freely. Breathe with this one longing to love. And somewhere down the line, you know that love is our ideation at the beginning of the practice. Bhavanam ke balam. Bhavanam ke balam. Love is. We can translate it to this, right? Love is. Come to the extent that the knowingness within you is that love is. And even surrender your longing. Because you know that it is part of you. It's already in and you are here today. Because you're longing towards love, to this divine love that we are looking for, right? It's already here. We're just allowing ourselves not to block our own paths from bringing this love closer to us. Or we can also visualize it in the way of we are simply unblocking all the paths that lead to love so that we can be the closest possible to what I mentioned earlier on, right? Be the embodiment of love, and along with love, everything else, beauty, compassion, service, everything, everything. Breathe gently, sweetly, deeply into every part of your body, a complete yogic breath. It carries no efforts, but just simply your presence. This is where we start integrating at a deeper level the stretches, the squeezing, the strengthening, the toning, the releasing, the letting go of what? Of everything that no longer works, of everything that may be part of a past, or everything that may be part of a future that is not here yet. We simply let go of anything that prevents us from enjoying, right? Living the embodiment of love. There was a reason why, Baba was called Ananda Murti, right? So it's always beautiful to let this beautiful awareness of the Ananda Murti being in our hearts for infinite amount of reasons. So we will all connect to all of these reasons as we go along. As you take your next few breaths, of course, this is a shorter relaxation today. Usually and ideally, as Baba recommended, we would allow ourselves, of course, to be in relaxation mode 10, maybe 20 minutes if we have that time available. But again, this process, if done wholeheartedly, in 5 minutes or 20 minutes of relaxation, will help us integrate a great extent of what we have worked through, yoga asana, etc. Okay? There's always a benefit to this reassurance. I give you that. I'd like us to take a deep, long breath into every part of our bodies. Deep, long, fabulous, fulfilling. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhaling through the mouth. And as you take your next breath, stretch your arms, your legs, move your fingers, your toes. Pretend you're a child right now waking up in the morning. And I'd like you to open up. And easily then, of course, hug your knees to the chest. Rock your body from side to side. Extend your right arm beyond the crown of the head and fully roll onto the right side as in a side-laying position, right? As in a fetal position. And then easily come to this comfortable seated position. And once seated in this half lotus pose, I offer you greatest love and my deepest, most sincere namaskar. Now, collective meditation follows. All right, I will see you next week. Blessings to all of you. All right, enjoy.
Thank you very much, Ash. So we're going to have a 5-minute break and we'll start with kill turn.
My pleasure. All right, guys, I have to head out.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
Enjoy, my pleasure, anytime. I just have another session to actually be part of right now. So next week, I'll see you then.
Sounds good.
Bless.
All right, namaskar.
Bhavanam Kevalam Baba Bhavanamo Kevalam Baba Bhavanam Kevalam Baba Bhavanamo Kevalam Baba Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamu Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamu Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Baba Bhavanamo Kevalam Baba Bhavanam Kevalam Baba Bhavanamo Kevalam Baba Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamu Kevalam Bhavanam 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 Kevalam Baba Bhavanamo Kevalam Baba Bhavanam Kevalam Baba Bhavanamo Kevalam Baba Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamo Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanamo Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Bhavanam Kevalam Baba Baba
Dada Nityam Shuddham Nirabhasam Nirakaram Niranjanam Nityabodham Chidanandam Gurur Brahma Namamyaham.
Akhandamandalakaram Vyatam Dena Characharam Dharpadam Darshitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Agyanatirnamyasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Parama Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Akhandamandalakaram Vyatam Dena Characharam Tadpadam Darshitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Agyanatirnamyasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Parama Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Akhandamandalakaram Vyatam Dena Characharam Dharpadam Darshitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Agyanatirnamyasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Parama Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Avajurabhyam Jagadguru Tuyameva Samahai
Namaskar, everybody. Welcome. I see that in the poll, many of you are feeling very blissful. Some are feeling blissful. A few, same as before. Okay, I'm going to read the text to you. It is related to the class of today. So let's go. Human beings are the highest evolved beings. They possess clearly reflected consciousness, and this makes them superior to animals. No other being has such a clear reflection of consciousness. Human beings can distinguish between good and bad with the help of their consciousness. And when in trouble, they can find a way out with its help. No one likes to live in misery and suffering. Far less human beings whose consciousness can find means of relief. Life without sorrow and suffering is a life of happiness and bliss. And that's what people desire. Everyone is in quest for happiness. In fact, it is people's nature to seek happiness. Now, let us see what one does to achieve it and whether it is achieved by those means. So in their search for happiness, first, people are attracted towards physical enjoyments. They amass wealth and try to achieve power and position to satisfy their desire for happiness. One who has 100 rupees is not satisfied with it. One strives for 1,000 rupees. But even possessing thousands of rupees does not satisfy. One wants 1,000,000, and so on. Then it is seen that a person having influence in a district wants to extend it over her province, and then provincial leaders want to become national leaders. And when they have achieved that, there creeps a desire for world leadership. Mere acquisition of wealth, power, and position does not satisfy a person. The acquisition of something limited only creates the want for more. And the quest for happiness finds no end. The hunger for possessing is unending. It is limitless and infinite. So this is also related to the class today. Now, as many people can put their videos will be nice. I can see some faces. Okay, some are already there. All right, thanks. Okay, next, I want to hear something from you in the chat, okay? And my question is, from 1 to 3 words, 1 to 3, minimum 1, maximum 3 words, I want to know how you are feeling today, okay? So if you can type in your chat. Okay. mixed feelings. All right. Okay, thank you for the feedback. Okay. All right. Tired, maybe we are not sleeping enough. And the moon is also, now is new moon, so almost much force of the moon. So all these aspects are there. All right, so now I was looking at this second poll, wanted to see how many have read or have watched the video. So if you can answer that, then I get an idea how to go about the class. So kind of half-half. All right, so for future classes, it will be very good if you can watch the video before, because this is going to be a philosophy course. We are talking about the book Elementary Philosophy. When you see the name Elementary Philosophy, you think, oh, elementary, that must be very simple. Like some are saying, okay, the link for the video was sent by email. So check your email. So for future, I mean, for this first class is okay, but for the future classes, you have that email, you already have the Google documents, so you can get the links. I'm going to add all the links for the various chapters of the book. So when I first saw this book, I thought, oh, elementary philosophy, oh, I should quickly read it. When I started reading, I felt it was really very difficult book. And until now, every time I read it, I learn something new. And that's one characteristic of the books that were written by Sri Sri Anandamurti. If you see that the author is Sri Sri Anandamurti, every time you will read that book, you get some new insight. Why? Because philosophy and practice, they go together. I'm not sure if you remember we had a program a few days ago, and Acharya Dhyanesh, who gave a class to you a few days ago, in that program, he read a passage. And in that passage, Baba, our teacher, he was comparing knowledge with devotion. Means devotion is when your feeling for the infinite, for the supreme entity grows. So knowledge and devotion. So knowledge is like the big brother walking, holding the hand of the small sister. So small sister is devotion and big brother is knowledge. So the knowledge is pulling or is guiding the little sister. Okay, so that's the idea of philosophy. When you understand the philosophy, you understand what you are doing, what practices you are doing, and then you can improve the practice. You can know, I have to work more on this point, or I have to work more on that point. Okay. Okay, so here is the results of the poll. You see, about half of you have watched the video and half have not. All right. Okay, so, oh, we are doing it again. All right, so, okay. Now I would like to share my screen, and let's start with this. With the class. Remember, you can ask questions in the chat, okay? If I'm going too fast, if I'm going too slow, if you have some questions, you can tell me. Okay, some people didn't receive the email. No problem. We are in the beginning, so we are getting things together. It's not a problem, okay? I'm going to go through the class today, through this subject, and in the future classes, when I see that many people have watched, then I can go a little bit further, right? Okay, so there we go. So what the topic is, what is Dharma? I read this in the beginning of the class, that human beings are the highest evolved beings. Just imagine our planet, okay? There are many beings. Just imagine how many insects are there, how many animals are there, how many plants are there, and then other beings is smaller that we cannot even see. There are billions and billions and trillions of beings. But we are human beings. We are the highest evolved. And why? Because our consciousness is reflected. What does it mean? It means that you are conscious of yourself. Usually other beings, even developed beings like animals and let's say dogs, they are not so conscious of themselves. Like if you put an animal in front of a mirror, it will be sometimes very interesting experience how they behave. They rarely recognize themselves, you know? So they don't have so much sense of themselves, but we have. And as we have this consciousness, we can distinguish between what is good, what is bad. What is good and what is bad? You know, sometimes people tell us that, oh, this is good for me, may not be good for you. This is not good for me, but maybe it's good for you. So it's kind of a relative term, but in philosophy, it is not. Good, it takes us towards the goal. Bad takes us far from the goal. So what is the goal? What do we want? So let's suppose I ask you, what do you think that human beings really want in their life? Can you reply that in the chat? What do we really want? Means we want to be rich, we want to be famous, we want to have so many things, or what do we really want? Okay, because you are all very special people, then I can see that most of you are replying that we want happiness, we want infinite, attain the supreme. And so these are already spiritual concepts, you know. And that's what not only us, but everyone wants. Okay, somebody raised their hand. Maybe type in the, if you have a question, type there. Maybe it is better for now to type the questions. Now, the thing is, yes, we do want this happiness, and that's something within us, and we don't want it to be limited. We want it infinite. Okay, but when we look at the people in general in the society, many people they want some physical enjoyment. Means they want to be rich, they want a nice car, they want, how to say, to have this, to have that, a beautiful body, strong, this, that. And then, so they are struggling for that. And for example, they have a weekend. And then during the weekend, they are thinking, oh, this weekend, what I will do? Oh, yes, I have a party. Okay. Then the party finish, maybe drink a little bit too much, very tired. The next day, headache. And then, so what am I going to do? I need to go to the movies. So, oh, beautiful, nice. Oh, I need to have some nice food. That's what people are trying to get, some physical enjoyment. But some people who are coming to the spiritual path, they realize that, no, we don't really want that. Because we get so many things, but it doesn't satisfy. So I want something deeper, something inside. So that's the beginning of spiritual path. We want to get something inside, some happiness that remains, that doesn't finish. We realize that there is a problem, that I want to be happy, I want to be always happy, but the things in the world are limited. They don't last forever. They finish. So when the things finish, like suppose I love somebody, and then we live together for a few years, and then we separate. And then that happiness is cut, and maybe I'm suffering, or I'm hurt. So that's how life happens. Then people start thinking, is this how I want to go about with my life? Then is when they start searching inside. Then they come to the path of meditation. Because we want this happiness that remains, that doesn't stop, that is infinite. So if you want something infinite, then you need an infinite source. You cannot get something infinite from something limited. You know, the world is limited, and you want to be happy forever. It doesn't match, you know. You cannot get something that remains eternal from something that is always changing. So that's the problem. You need something that is infinite. So what is infinite? In the philosophy, it says, the only infinite thing is the cosmic entity. It is infinite, it's eternal, no limits. And the only way that we will be fully satisfied is if we can connect, if we can reach this cosmic entity. So one quote from the book: the cosmic entity alone is infinite and eternal. Shri Shri Anandamurti. You may be asking there, what is this cosmic entity? This will be one of the chapters. Okay, we'll come to in the course. That's one of the questions we have to answer. Now let's analyze us. We are human beings, okay? Some philosophers or some people say we are rational animals. So they recognize we have an animal part. In yoga, or in our philosophy, we also recognize that we have an animal part, but we don't say we are rational animals. We are human beings. We are something different from animal. But we do have some influence from animals. So that influence from animals is strong in us. How can we control it? You, in the beginning of the classes, you were doing asanas, yoga asanas. Those asanas have an effect on your glands. By having the effect on the glands, it changes the hormones. So your hormones will not be, let's say, animal-like hormones, but it will be more human-like. So you are working, doing asanas, you're working on your glands, you are changing your hormonal secretions, and you are becoming more, let's say, human. So it's very important to practice the asanas daily. In fact, practice is the main thing in our system. You have to calculate your daily routine so that you can fit all the practices and all the other things that you have to do in your daily life. Okay? All right. So I will jump here to the word Dharma. Okay? Let me try to give you an idea of the word Dharma. We hear many times this word. So in our philosophy, what do we think Dharma is? Dharma is the nature of a being. Any being, that its nature is Dharma. The example that was given is, what is the Dharma of fire? Fire burns, okay? It burns, and burning is the Dharma of fire, okay? So you can ask me, for example, could I say that the Dharma of fire is heat? Why do you say burn and why don't you say heat? Okay. Now, look, I have an object and I put fire on it. It starts burning. As long as it is burning, fire exists. The moment that it stops burning, it dies. So that means Dharma is what makes you exist. Okay? So now think about us, human beings. What makes us exist as a human being? Not like an animal. For example, I can say, oh, I'm breathing. Okay, animals also breathing. Oh, I sleep, I talk. Animals also, they sleep. They also talk in a different way. Oh, I'm rational. There are animals that are rational in a certain way. Maybe we are a little bit more, they are a little bit less. But what really makes me different, makes me a human being? That's the question. So now I want, Min, if you can break up the people in groups. And the question is, just let me explain the question first. The question to the group is, in your opinion, what is the Dharma of human beings? What makes us really different from animals? So let me see if I can write this here. So what is Dharma? So what is the Dharma of human beings? What makes us a human being and not just an animal, a developed animal? It's what really makes us different. That is the question. And I want that you break up in groups now, and you have 10 minutes to discuss amongst yourselves. And after that, we will rejoin. When we rejoin, I want one person of the group to write on the chat the conclusion of the group discussion. Okay? All right, Ming, you go ahead. And Min, I would like to be changing rooms, okay? So you keep me in a room for some time and I would like to change. Yeah. So I'm going to the room number 1 now. Okay, I'm just waiting for everybody to come in. I think we are all here now. Yeah, okay, so when you come in from the groups, write something on the chat. There is no, it's not like a right answer, wrong answer. Write something came from your group in the chat. Even the people who are not like the ones designated to write, you can write something how you felt in the group and like that. Okay, I'm giving some time for you to write something in the chat about what your group concluded. Okay, got the first one. Our group discussed, oh, it's moving so quickly, the movement toward Brahma as well as the achievement of Brahma realization through prayer and desire for Brahma as being the Dharma for human beings. Okay. Human beings' Dharma is longing to merge into infinite. Search for infinite happiness and knowledge. Looking for the Supreme Consciousness, longing for the attainment of the cosmic entity. And Dharma of human beings is to see the cosmic entity. The difference between human and animals is rational sentiment, a more developed nervous system, desire for reaching the infinite. And somebody says, I like how Baba's meaning is expressed in everyone's way. Next one, Dharma of human beings to achieve infinite happiness. Everyone has her particular way to express Dharma. Human beings are able to realize that they are in search of infinite happiness with time. Dharma in humans means that humans are in search of supreme consciousness, infinite bliss, limitlessness. Dharma means nature, characteristic or property of a being for human beings to achieve happiness, God. Dharma is our essence of being part of creation. And the Dharma of human being is to become a better being, to improve, develop, attain happiness. The difference from animal is the free will of human beings to choose to go in one direction or in another. And animals are different because they are unable to realize they need unlimited happiness and need to merge with supreme consciousness. Okay, good. Some observation or something about the group work. When you get to the breakout sessions in the group, make sure that everyone in the group contributes. You know, and so also you as an individual, you have two tasks. One, to contribute. Two, to see that everybody contributes. You know, so in that way, you get the best conclusion of the group. Okay, a few more things came. Dharma always with karma. Okay, karma we'll talk in the future. Difference between humans and animals is human beings have chakras in the body, gateway to become supreme consciousness, vivek, decision-making power, each desire, rational thinking. Okay, I think the discussions or whatever, it went well, and the idea was to make you kind of connect and also think about the Dharma. All right. Now we have kind of an idea of what is Dharma. And we think, okay, yes, the Dharma is to seek happiness, infinite happiness, everlasting happiness. But there is a gap here, okay? The gap is we think about that, but we are not there yet. Let's say we are here and the goal is there. But at least now we have a goal, and that's very important. When you have a goal, then you can move towards the goal. But sometimes the goal is very far. So you cannot see what's the direction to go. And that happens sometimes in spiritual life. The goal is so far that we don't really know the direction. So maybe we start doing meditation, but in the beginning is mechanical. We are just there, but we are not feeling much. Sometimes we feel a little bit, but sometimes it's just boring, tiring. Or sometimes we feel relaxed, but we are not yet connecting with the goal. So it takes regular practice that the feeling comes inside us. Now, the moment the feeling comes, it guides us, okay? So then we start having more experience. So there is always a gap between the goal and what we think is the goal. So the more we go ahead in the spiritual path, it becomes closer. The difference becomes less between what the goal is and what we think the goal is. Okay, so, all right. So this is from the book, Dharma is longing for attainment of the cosmic entity, in Sanskrit, Brahma. That is, in this same chapter, there is the second question, because if the goal is to achieve Brahma, to achieve the infinite entity, the cosmic entity, then the question is, does this thing exist? Is it real? I'm not going to enter into this topic, if Brahma exists or not. I will do it in the next class. And now I want to do another simple exercise with you, okay? Now, I'm studying philosophy, spiritual philosophy. I'm doing meditation. I'm doing asanas. I'm doing so many things. I'm taking this course of planetary leadership training and trying to understand the philosophy. But sometimes I may feel, oh, it's many things I don't understand and many things are complicated. So let's do an exercise now. How can we get help? So let's do like this. Suppose we close our eyes. So I want all of you, close your eyes. And so how I can get help to understand what's going on with me, to understand this that I'm studying, to understand this spirituality. It's good to have a mentor. A mentor is somebody who you can ask questions and get answers and things like that. So now imagine that you are sitting there in your room or wherever you are. Sometimes maybe you are outside in a nice environment. You are sitting there and you are thinking about what you are learning in this course, some things you understood, some things you didn't understand. There was no time to ask the teacher. So you can just imagine, visualize that at that moment, your mentor, this person that is your guide, that can give you advice and answer your questions, arrived. Means this person, if you are in a room, the person opened the door and entered and saluted you, hello, or namaskar, and sits beside you. So now you are not alone there. You are with your mentor, with your guide. And you know that person, that guide of yours, can answer your questions and can have has the mind, has the capacity to answer your questions. So you can ask a question, but maybe better, you can connect your mind, and then you will also know the insights and the answers. So you kind of want to take your consciousness a little bit out from your body. And you can imagine that you are just like two eyes, and you can see you and you can see your mentor. And then you go and into the mind of your mentor. You connect with that mind. And now it is giving you some knowledge, what you need to find your answers. You keep connected for some time so that you can get enough and then you feel, yes, I got some insights. I can go back to myself. So in the same way, you kind of your eyes are leaving from your mentor's mind, your guide's mind. And you come again, you see both of you, and now you go back to yourself. And you are now having some extra knowledge, extra capacity that you feel will help you to understand what you are studying, what is happening in your life, and what direction you should keep moving. And then you see that your mentor has to leave and goes out from the door or leaves that area where you are, and you are back in yourself. And you can slowly open your eyes again. And now you have fresh insights to guide you. And that's the end of our class today. For the next time, you have to watch, those who didn't watch the video for this class, you have to watch it. And then you watch also for the second class. Okay, so you will have two videos to watch. Okay. And I let you go to your daily life and your daily routines. And I'll be giving class every Thursday. So we'll continue on the philosophy. So just keep in your mind, Thursday is the day for philosophy. Okay. Namaskar.